Did feminism kill chivalry?
Ooh. Let me know you're racist. I ain't gotta quit you. China's leading the way, India's right behind them, and US is in a distant third.
The Podical Sons.
What's up, y'all? Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons. This show is hilariously inappropriate, intellectual beyond belief. So let's get the show on the go. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above. All streaming platforms possible at Podical Sons Podcast.
The good stuff.
On the socials and Podical Sons Podcast. You can Google us, find us, see us. And if you're hearing these voices already, you already know how to find us.
We are here.
And to see these lovely faces, check us out on Spotify and YouTube and stuff as well. So let's get it popping. How you feeling today?
I'm just a little bit under weather, but the show must go on. And being the professionals that we are.
Mm-hmm. Business as usual.
Business as usual.
Politics as usual. Wow. How you feel about, let's say this, with the flip-flopping of the weather?
Yeah.
Do you think that had an occurrence on you?
I think so. I think that kind of caught me off guard.
Was it some days you got caught sweating outside when it's supposed to be
cool? Yeah. It was one of those days where I just had on too much layers.
And then you're like, fuck, you're going to strip it off. And then that evening air after that 5 p.m. is like...
It'll get you, man.
Little Mother Nature be like, oh, bitch. And then next year, you're like, you have a shiver. You have a shiver. You're like, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But everything you pop
everything else is, I mean, I'm going to try to douse it a little later with some alcohol. I mean, it's old-fashioned remedies.
Grandpa's old cough medicine. We dare that stage.
Here. This is the stage in our life when we draw for those remedies and we're not bad at it.
Yeah, man. Because they say the children are our future, but do you have faith in the Chat GPT doctors of the future?
Oh man, it's funny because when you brought that up to me, and I was saying, yeah, you know what, you're right. But then I started thinking.
Talk about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Chat GPT starts entering the operating rooms.
So, let's say this.
Yeah.
I agree, but I will assume that like every moment in an operating room is kind of quote unquote, so to say, critical.
Right.
So to say, all right, put down the scalpel blade, go talk to the mic. Because even if you're not going to type it out, go talk to the mic and tell Chat GPT what's going on. Be like, I think I cut the wrong artery.
No, you know what?
What do you think I should do to stop the bleeding?
You know what I think it would have to be? It would have to reach to the point of like Data on Star Trek, where they're there, and they can analyze everything, and they don't intercede, but you can ask them for stuff.
I don't think we were there yet.
You don't think it's there yet?
And the reason why I would say yet is because body types are not really, let's say, unique to each other.
Right.
So let's say you might have somebody like, let's say you input the data, just the data and stuff, whatever you're saying, like, oh, subject is, let's say, 250 pounds, and you're looking to do some kind of like, I don't know, like organ transplant or so to speak and everything like that, whatever.
Yeah.
250 pounds might look one way, another person.
Right.
And then like on another person might be 250 pounds muscular built.
Right.
Might be another type of thing. So if you're inputting this information and stuff, whatever, I'm assuming that like it would be better, let's say, this operating table.
Yeah.
You have camera looking at it for like a live action type
Well, that's
of thing.
why I say
I don't think it's there yet though.
But that's why I say it would have to be like data. So picture an Android that has all the capabilities of just the visualization coupled with the knowledge, coupled with the hundreds of years of medical whatever that's been fed into it. And then just from that standpoint, being able to say, okay, he's not 250 pounds fat, he's 250 pounds muscular. Throw that in the database. And then again, just like you're not gonna probably because you might have more knowledge, even in certain aspects, even when they reach that part. Because right, even the smartest human being can learn something, right?
Without a doubt.
So you may still have that knowledge over them and say, but just you don't want to second guess yourself and say, what do you think? What is your opinion? And then just from that whole visualization point, because just like you're saying, I didn't think about that when you first mentioned it, but I'm like, if you throw all those little particulars in, and they may not be connected, but the AI is smart enough to say, okay, these are all the factors. Let me connect it. And it's funny because I just seen
But then that would the person who's going for surgery, not to cut you, sorry that, but it's kind of like the person who's going for the surgery has to kind of like agree to the AI getting the information and stuff like to do the live action thing.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people and stuff, whatever, like you might have a few I want to say wave surfers
Right.
that will go with the wave, like, all right, yeah, fuck it, Chat GPT is here.
Yeah.
Run it. If you want to bring the Android and stuff into the room and stuff to watch me and stuff, whatever, cool. Then you have the other people like just rising machines, about to catch me off guard while I'm laying down at the table, gassed up and stuff. I don't want an Android or something like that in there or whatever, right?
I can see it.
So I see like I said, like not now.
No.
But I feel like, let's say if they come up with a hospital, like let's say they build a hospital and they let you know, like, yo, this shit is digital Chat GPT run.
Right.
The fact that the people are going there, you already know you have a higher probability of running with that, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere else that hasn't, like I feel like you're gonna have an older person who needs like a bypass surgery.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh hell no, I'm not going to that hospital and stuff with the damn robots. Back in my day, we had humans. We didn't need the damn robots.
You got people don't even want to go see humans.
Right. Right. So it's like I look at stuff as like, I feel like we're in the world we live in and stuff now. And even like back then, like even look at something stuff like pertaining to like AOL.
Yeah.
AOL and internet time and stuff, whatever, right? It's kind of like some people were sticking their toe in there. And like, I don't know. I don't want to give information. I don't even want to go on a dating site. I might meet like a serial killer and all this type of stuff till
Right.
fucking Tinder and shit has like the damn probably the most hits and stuff on like certain apps and stuff or dating apps out here now.
Yeah.
Right? Like we went from stepping toes into the dating world to like you're automatically just launched in it. So I think like it takes some time.
Yeah.
And a few generations to say like, fuck it, fly into the danger zone and stuff like that, whatever. Because would you be okay with a Tesla robot in the room and stuff, whatever? If you're getting like a surgery, you might have to go under.
I would definitely want to do my research first to see how far
Smart.
See how far the technology here has gotten.
Smart.
See where where they picked up and where they dropped off.
I'd be like, first of all, this Tesla bot, is Elon plugged into this bitch? Like, these one of the ones that might go rogue.
Yeah. No, I gotta ask some questions.
You want to fuck with my Tesla cars?
I gotta ask some questions.
Yeah. So that's I think it takes time and stuff. Now, let's say to the children that are born of today.
Yeah.
And then let's say by the time they're even like in their 20s or something like that.
Well, even when you were talking, even when you were given the example of AOL, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking in my head, I was like, damn. As a kid during that time,
me, I'm a millennial.
I had no apprehensions jumping online and do like, you know what I mean? I did not fear that. And like we are now the age where it's email or nothing, right? It's correct. Now it's
very true.
It's email or nothing, right? So now it's like these kids, our kids who are gonna grow up with this whole AI, when they reach our stage, they're probably looking at AI or nothing.
And they might have like like if Chat GPT 2.0 is like God 2.0 and everything like that, God knows what the world might look like and stuff.
Who knows what the world might look like? Yeah.
And like, because you give these apps and these programs and stuff enough time to kind of learn and understand human history over like decades. Like it's just like a science experiment, or like if they do anything like studies on like science and coffee or something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
The research proven the stuff at the 3-year mark is different than research that was proven at the 5-year mark than much as the 10-year mark. Because look how we went from a world like coffee is good for you, coffee is bad for you, coffee will dehydrate you, coffee will help you go to the washroom.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, because the studies are just ongoing, and since the research and stuff is kind of like ongoing, it's allowing learning more and more and what be like yay or nay, what we can take from what we don't need and from it. And I think it's the same thing with the AI stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Eventually you're gonna be like, this might not be that much of a big of an issue and stuff like that for people. And the AI might just start talking to you like, no, from base what we know about you and stuff, whatever, you need to focus on doing this and this, and you'll be great.
Right.
So like you might not even need, like I want to say, I don't want to say motivational speakers, but I want to say at least coaches and like up close leaders.
Right.
Because the motivation that you might seek and everything, some people might just lean directly into their AI world. Like I take it the movie Her, like he just fully, it took him a while to kind of get used to the fact that, oh my gosh, this is a woman in a digital form and stuff for that. She's not real.
Right.
To a point where he's like, motherfucker's taking shit to the beach. Where do you plug up a robot into a beach? It sounds like somebody's dying from electricity.
It sounds like it.
So it's just, it takes time for like the person or people to kind of get leaning into it and stuff. Like you and I were talking about, like, yo, ride the wave. Don't be a
Right.
dinosaur and watch and smile at the damn, meteorite coming to create the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
What brought you joy this week, man?
Two things actually.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
We come a long way from January. Pause all that shit.
Yeah.
January, that's a good question mark. I got two for this motherfucker. High five, man.
Two this week.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, shout out to my wife's cousin, Carrie, and the Flash Motors crew.
Okay.
They just signed another contract to be an exclusive distributor. I think it's Dealey, the name of the EV company in Jamaica. So they're getting ready to do the Jamaican auto show. I was like, I didn't even know Jamaica have an auto show, and I guess they like everybody got an auto show. Why can't Jamaica have an auto show too? Damn it! But yeah. So I'm happy for them, man, because it's funny. It's like I think we take it for granted when we see people who have their businesses and then their businesses are doing well, and it's just like you always say people see steps 8, 9, and 10, but never 1 through 7, right? And I seen this kid go through 1 to 7 and really now being blessed to see the 8, 9, and 10 and really seeing it work out for him. So I was happy when I seen that came through. I gave him a shout, congratulated him and with everything.
Congratulations.
And then the second thing was just tell you with the Black men's group that I'm with, we're actually we're having another. I just been invited to another dinner with the MP for the conservatives, Black MP for the conservatives, Black MP for the liberals, Michael Coutier.
Conservatives or liberals or both?
Liberals and conservatives. So they're both going to be there.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And it's really a discussion on how do we help advance the Black youth within the framework of today's Canadian society and then moving forward. So they're actually they're actually looking towards our groups to help give them some initiatives, give them some ideas as far as programs are concerned, to now bring back to their government because they have certain mandates that they want to fulfill, and just helping with the Black community is one of them. So we're really excited because I think one of the things that we're really stressing is that a move towards STEM, which would be the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Throughout just through the Black community. It's one of those things, we talk about it all the time, where we are at a deficit when it comes to minds that are focused in that area within Canada. China's leading the way, India's right behind them, and US is in a distant third. And going forward, to be a strong nation, you're
I would
gonna
say
have to
country,
have,
nation,
yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna have to have a fingerprint or some type of holding, even if it's just 1%, 2%, you have to have something. And right now we have nothing. So we're looking at that as a particular way where we can get Black youth now involved in what we're doing, and setting up a rule and setting up some sort of pathway towards a future, because there's not going to be much that's going to be outside of those things going forward, right?
Mm,
So, that's what we're looking for. So I'm happy about that. I had a few ideas that I raised during the last meeting,
mhm.
um, when they were like, "Well, what are we going to bring to the table when we sit down and speak to these guys? Because they're going to want something." And that was my first thing. I was like, "Well, we already talked about how there's a brain shortage, and then those who do well in Canada get courted." And then move away, so there's a serious brain drain that's happening. And if we're not developing the minds now, then it might be a hard case for Canada in the next 10 plus years.
Let me ask you this. Pertaining to, let's say, the youth and engineers, because I want to say, let's say an average engineer,
Right.
their income and stuff, whatever, is fairly high,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
A fresh grad.
Right.
Fresh grad is in like specific. I'm not getting like technical, like bioengineering. I'm not talking about anything like that because those things even range higher and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But engineer, like to a basic level to a formal level, who do you know, like off head and stuff, that might be like an example or an icon, or not even say icon, but somebody for the youth to relate to? Because I think like relatability
Yeah.
is always a hell of a thing and stuff,
Always,
whatever. Like
always
I
a hell
look
of
at
a
it stuff
thing.
as like you can, let's say this. I was listening to Nas New World and stuff, whatever, like maybe like weeks ago or something like that, right? And I realized and stuff that like from this song, when the song came out in 1999, a lot of people didn't know exactly who Bill Gates was,
Right.
but they knew that Bill Gates, Microsoft, and this man has money.
Right.
So
Right.
it's kind of like you can kind of plug a face to like a company or a logo and everything like that, right? Now, is there an engineer that you can plug a face to, like the youth, the Black youth of Canada, to say like, you know what?
And that's the thing. That's going to be part of my research,
Okay.
and part of my my knowledge building in as far as going forward.
Mhm.
Um, the only person that really pops into the top of my mind, and this is what I'm saying, is like, because it's so infrequent that their names pop up. I can't even remember the names, but I know there's the the um the black man that was behind the cartridges for Atari.
Okay. No, then you know there's a Black man
Yeah,
behind it.
there was a black man behind that, and then the black man behind the Super Soaker,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, those are faces that have popped up in recent times, where I can say,
When
oh,
the Super Soaker was prominent, I'm not saying Super Soaker is not prominent now, but
no,
it
but
was
this
not
is, yeah,
prominent.
like,
Like
no, none, yeah.
what? I was,
We're talking like
I'm
maybe
old. I'm old. I was gonna say
we're
20
talking
years
maybe, yeah,
ago.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe late 80s,
90s,
early
yeah,
90s, yeah,
80s, 90s.
late 80s, early 90s,
To
right?
the kids listening to this and stuff, for that, we weren't slaves before the year 2000. Continue.
No, we had things happening.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had
yeah.
things happening. And then, and then, but every now and then you'll see something like on like a youth in Africa who has no formal degree or anything, but he's creating stuff. He's inventing stuff. Well, this man he's an engineer in his own right,
Mhm.
right? Not because he didn't go to school, or he doesn't have any titles, but it's to show like, yo, this is somebody who is, if you have a knack for certain things, even though you may not see that leader, it may be an opportunity for you to fill that void. Because there's, I wouldn't say there's, again, see, and I don't even want to say there's few of us, because I don't know. right? It's just something that I don't know. I went to school with one dude. Shout out to Sean Lozama.
Okay.
Only dude that I know
Mm-hmm.
growing up that became an engineer, right? He works.
Is he by the name? I'm not being, racist or anything. Is he Latino descent?
No,
Is he like he's Afro Latino?
I want to say Afro Latino.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say Afro Latino.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, and he was just, and and again, I think the misconception is that it's for nerds or you got to be a nerd. Nah, if you like something particular,
Mm.
it shouldn't have to take you or put you in a certain box or category. Because he hung with us, he loved hip hop. He did everything else that we all did. You know what I mean? He was
Right.
considered a cool kid. He just liked science. You know what I mean? And that was something that he really dug. And nobody ever looked at him like, "Oh, you blurred." Like blurred was not a term. Blurred is a new term for
Blurred
me.
is a new term.
Blurred is a new term.
You're
for
not
me,
the
right?
only one.
So and that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, yeah, nah, it's cool. So I think part of the things is like, no, it's cool to like these things,
Mhm.
right? And it's cool to, if you feel like you want to advance, then do it and advance in it. And I'm like, I've always been like a big nerd. I remember my first computer was a TRS 80 handy Radio Shack.
Whoa.
Yeah,
RIP Radio Shack.
RIP Radio Shack. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
And I think I learned how to program G Basic, and I was like maybe 12 or 13 at the time,
Okay.
right? But so I've always had an interest in computers. That's why I'm still into computers to this day, right? Like I
Right.
don't buy off the shelf computers. Like I build
Build.
them, right? So I'm just saying, from that standpoint, I'm like, I'm not the only one. And I know just the more of us who, are encouraged, and again, just like how you're saying, the more they see people like us, you know what I mean? The motivation will start to grow and will start to be there. So yeah, I definitely got to do my homework in as far as black engineers are concerned,
Mhm.
and make that part of the part of the curriculum, because we want to do something, right? It's like maybe that's the first step, is educate them and saying, listen, we're here, we've been doing these type of things,
Right.
right? Now it's just for us to look at this as a path. Like it's not always music, it's not always basketball, right? This science is a key thing. The world needs science.
Let me ask you this before we move on and stuff, whatever. Do you believe that? I want to word this. Do you believe that? Because I know you have a field of dreams kind of concept state of mind.
Yeah.
Where like if you build it, they will come.
Right.
Right. Do you believe in fishing instead of building? And what I mean by that is stuff, whatever, is that like if let's say you talk to somebody, somebody that knows somebody, knows somebody, knows somebody, knows somebody, that a youngin has like this, I don't know, like Rain Man kind of brain,
Right.
right?
Right.
And let's say he might not be in like the region where you guys are talking about, whatever, but he's still within the GTA parameter to be like, look, we know you live on way across town and everything like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But we want to show you a better world. Like, do you believe in more fishing or then more building? Because I feel like going out to fish for these individuals, to me, it may seem like a lot more work, but I feel like to me it's more fruitful.
You're right.
I'm a fan of Insecure, the TV show, right?
Yeah.
And they had a thing called We Got Y'all in the show. And they will go to schools and stuff for that to try and help motivate the youth and everything like that. And let's say out of the schools and the youth that I've seen, I'm not going by the data and stuff that are out here,
Yeah.
but I look at it stuff as like from what I've seen, it takes like maybe like 2 or 3 individuals. So you're kind of like building a big ass field
Right.
for just 2 or 3 individuals when you could have probably like allocated the time and energy to go fish, like a kind of like a basketball scout that goes through like the high school games. So it'll be like, we
Yeah.
want you to come to the school.
Yeah.
Like fishing or building.
I think if we were already on a level,
Okay.
then it would be fishing.
Oh, so because you're trying to create something.
Because we're on the ground and
rules,
there's
it's better to
absolutely
build.
nothing. It's better to build, and because what China's doing right now, and and again, it just goes back to just the education itself. They're identifying them from public school.
Like public, is that elementary? Because I didn't go
elementary.
Okay,
so,
all right.
So,
Cool.
so they're
No, Canada be getting me at times.
So they're identifying them from elementary school.
Right.
So they're telling the teachers, look out for who's strong in science, math.
Bingo. And that to me is fishing.
Yeah.
That to me is fishing because you're scouting.
But also remember, they're already graduating 700,000 engineers a year.
No, granted, I know without a doubt.
Fish now.
But I look like if they're fishing from an elementary level, let's say like from K to like 6, right? From kindergarten to 6th grade, if they're fishing and stuff to say like, okay, well, like this kid is a scholar. This kid, like the math is like through the roof. This kid can angles and like geometry and stuff and trigonometry is like nothing to them.
Yeah.
On this young level, yes, Taylor, this person dropped them into like not a regular middle school, dropped them into like a higher learning kind of middle school and stuff, whatever, and see like we're kind of just molding
just
and
exactly
stuff.
Like
and then like when it comes to comes to the high school level and stuff, whatever, you've already been built through like 2 tests. This is your landscape for you to be great.
Well, that's exactly what they used to do with children who are
gifted,
extremely artistic. You know what I mean? That's how we had all these school of the arts pop up, right?
Hey.
It's like, you know what I mean? They identify them from young and then they kind of tailor them and say, okay, no, as opposed to you going to regular high school, we're sending you to the School of Arts where we can hone in on what your natural skills,
right?
Develop them further and kind of give you a path to where you go. I think the problem with us right now in Canada is that we have no way of identifying them. So it's easier to say, okay, it's easier to say, let's build something, right? And then 100 students come in, and then maybe out of the 100, there's 50.
Even if you get 50, that's a blessing.
Where there's 50 where you can sit down and say, okay, these 50, we can advance, as opposed to now going, I think it might be at this time, maybe a little bit more difficult than to just go one individual to find that 50.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because if you build, like the Field of Dreams concept, I still love it. If you build, they will come.
Right.
Right. I just look at it stuff as where.
Well, I mean, look at it from your standpoint, right? Like let's say you have a son that is really, that you identify that's really gifted in, let's say, math, right?
My son is a computer whiz at friggin' 7.
So there you go, right? And now we can wait for somebody else to come see and figure it out. But then you just got a pamphlet and say, oh, there's a school in Toronto that's now just opened up for those who may be extremely gifted. We're offering free testing to see where the level of your child is.
Perfect.
Then you go, right? Because you want that for your child, right? You want that avenue for your child. So again, if we build the field of dreams, then it's there for people like you who see it to now say, okay, I have a direction where I can focus my son too.
Because it's so interesting to me because I always look at stuff as where you got like mad parents and stuff, like let's say parents and teachers, they're in a volume and stuff where, let's say, it's endless. Because think about, some people might have a kid that might graduate, let's say today, and some kids might have kids that might graduate 3 years from now and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
And so the parents are turning out the children, and the teachers and stuff, whatever, are like finding or picking these people and stuff, like cherry picking and saying like, hey, this person is the scholar and all that type of stuff. But then we're in a world now, and then just say like country-wise, where our numbers don't compete to like even to China or to even the US.
Right.
Right. A lot of the ground root parents and stuff, whatever, let's say the ones I speak to within the GTA, they don't have that much faith in the school system. So now you have a situation and stuff within the school system and stuff. How do you expect these teachers who they don't have faith in to say like, you know what, this right here might be that guy and stuff, whatever, when most of the parents and stuff like even want to homeschool their kids even in today's time.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like you gotta have faith, and not saying just like not a religious level, but it's kind of like
no.
You gotta have this kind of this same like, all right, you know what? I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah.
for like pertaining to like my kids, because a lot of people don't understand the language that their kid might speak in, and their kid might be extreme. Like learning is a different kind of world. What I've learned is like your kid might seem like a fuck up on a main level, but they might just be gifted in this one, like a savant in this one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But the teachers and stuff are not gonna spend the time to try and say like, yo, you're causing mad disruption and stuff in my class for me to find whatever your fucking gift is and stuff like that. That should be up to your parents. And then the parents are looking like, well, I dropped my kids off to you. That's up to you.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it's a mixture. I think we're right now looking at a mixture of both. Because again, going back to what we always discuss, we feel like the education system that we have now has to be changed.
Agreed.
It has to be changed, right?
Agreed.
So now you put a change in the education system, and now the teachers follow suit. So you train the teachers on what to look out for and what to encourage. And I say, and the reason why I say it's got to be a mixture of both is that to my parents, I was always talented, right? But they did not know the difference between an academic school and an art school. To say, you know what, my son needs to be in an art school as opposed to be in an academic school, right? They didn't know that difference. It wasn't until me being in that and being in an academic school, right? And
you realize you kind of find your place or something?
English class. Drama, I always had like high numbers in drama, right?
Because you're a thespian.
I'm a thespian.
Okay.
And C.
Okay.
Always had high numbers in drama, right? We had this we had a class called screen editing. And I want to give it up to my school, because even though they were academic based, they still had a money set aside to like to develop certain programs. So we had screen editing. I don't think a lot of high school had screen editing courses
Put
at
on
that
your
time.
school, man. Talk about your school.
Yeah,
Pop your shit about
running
your
me,
school.
running me collegiate.
Okay.
Shout out to y'all, man. I don't think a lot of schools had screen education at that time. You know what I mean? So we were learning film and stuff like that.
And when did you graduate?
I graduated in,
and I'm not trying to date you.
No, that's all good. I graduated in, I want to say 98.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So we're talking way back then, right? So I really had good marks in drama. I had good marks in screen education, but it was my English teacher. So one day we had to do Shakespeare's. We had to do soliloquies. We had to pick a Shakespeare play, find a passage where there's a soliloquy. So I did this one. I can't even remember the name of the play, but
Othello. Othello had a lot of soliloquies.
I think it might have been Othello. I played a prison guard. It was a prison guard one of the things. I played a prison guard, and then I was like, yo, I'm like, okay, I could do this, and then I really committed to it. So I learned the passage, everything, and then I just acted it out, right? And then so when it was my turn to act out, and my English teacher was just like, she, when you just had that look on your face of bewilderment, because she's like, yo, like, she knows that I'm a dramatic kid, but she didn't ever think that like, yo, I had that side to me, right? To the point, to the point where at parent teacher night, she was dead set and telling my parents that I need to go to art school. Do you understand? So that was that's her being there, observing and saying,
and fishing out the talent.
I don't know what this kid is doing in all the other disciplines in the school, but this is where he needs to be. And this may not be the school to get him where he needs to go. So maybe you should consider putting him into art school.
And that's the part where I'm saying you guys should like reach out to more of the teachers.
Right.
To do the scouting stuff for the people. Like, it's good, I think, to build.
Yeah.
To say like, all right, we have a location, send them in, get to the chopper, drop them in and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like the teachers like fishing
Yeah.
or even have the conversation with the teachers and stuff, and be like, do you see any, let's say, not even to say like, do you see any young Black youths that might, excel in your eyes or, seem like they're.
No, you're right. You're right 100%. And I think, and at that point, I think it goes hand in hand. So then we build it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the teachers have something to fish for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. No, I think even for me, like I think shit, going back to like what brought me joy and stuff this week, because yesterday I went to OCAD, one of the art schools here in the GTA.
Yeah.
And just to see, let's say, the future interior designs and future architects and stuff for a lot of places and stuff like that, whatever.
Right.
Like, I can't wait to see it. Like, let's say this. With their final projects, what I've seen and stuff is that they had to pick a location where they want to build whatever building or facility, complex or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was looking at stuff, I was like, certain places with the idea, they had a place, it's kind of, let's say, looks like it's shaped like a cloud in a circular motion.
Yeah.
It has stained glass up top.
Mm.
Right? And the stained glass kind of tends to peer through and stuff when the daylight or the sunlight is hitting it. And it's hitting in different areas and stuff for it. So it's kind of like a wellness place where, let's say the music room, because it's supposed to be like a community center and stuff like that, whatever.
Right.
So the music room might hit with like the pinkish kind of glow.
Right.
Another area, some sort of gym area might hit with like an orangish bright kind of glow with the stained glass. I was like, well, shit, like how come they didn't make most like a good. I never thought of the concept until I seen it. And then like again, like the Whitney's always in my head whenever it comes to like the younger youth and stuff in education. Like I believe the children are our future, because I mean, some spatial perform, we got to rely on them to deal with us for like even day-to-day shit. Like I look at it stuff as where you've probably interact with, like, let's say stores or places you go to, where a lot of them are younger folk and they're kind of like they're in the landscape you want to spend your money in.
Yeah.
And you have to trust in what they say or what they do or what they input in on certain type of things. Because think about it, you get a receipt from a young person and stuff, and you look like, I don't think that math is right. You're staring hard as fuck at this receipt to be like, okay, I just thought you guys try to sauce me, try to rob me and stuff like that, whatever, right? But it's kind of like, these are our future.
Yeah.
So we might have to take, we might be an ability to say retort or debate these things, and there might be a point where like you might have an old person and stuff, whatever, like, I gotta spend the money regardless. I don't care what anybody says. And the young person's still like, we gotta get Sister Agnes her shit. I'm sorry, Agnes. I'm not fucking with no Agneses.
Yeah.
It's just the name than my demographic.
Especially for the Agnes in the church.
Yeah.
I mean, Sister Agnes.
Yeah. And like if a dude's named Walter, like, it's a throwback name, you're named after your granddad. I get it. But for the youth, it's always so inspiring to see like the youth doing shit. Cause I feel like things like TikTok, for me as a millennial, stuff like TikTok and other social medias and stuff, whatever. Sometimes I don't see the younger generation portrayed into like I want to say an educated kind of light.
No.
I kind of see them doing some other things and stuff, whatever, like, either arguing, crashing out.
Yeah.
Not really so much positive things. And I'm for positive things for any modern child.
Right.
Any youth and stuff, and I'm for them doing positive things and stuff for them. And I don't really see that on the latter so often. When I do see it and stuff for that, I applaud it. But my applause has kind of been like kind of stagnant.
Yeah.
Right. But when to see the graduation classes coming out and everything they're churning out, like, cause even like this young dude that works in like our IT department, and everything, he said to me one day, he's like, "Oh, I like your kicks and stuff, whatever." And everything. He's like, "Yo, you always wear these kicks and everything." Like, I'm like, "Yo, what do you do?" He's like, "I work in IT and stuff like that." And he's like, he's 24 years old, whatever, right? And I was looking like, damn.
Yeah.
And I was like, you the one that fixed da 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 like within the system and stuff, da da da. He's like, yeah, because like, I kind of have a back end and stuff, whatever from it. I used to go to like, he said, shout out to Ryerson. He used to go to Ryerson. A lot of people shit on Ryerson for like technological stuff and everything like that. But he's like, it was something basic. And then other employees there in IT, they came from UFT. and they couldn't troubleshoot and solve some of these problems. And this is around the Microsoft World outage shit
Okay.
that was popping off and stuff for there. So I was looking like, yo, kudos to you, man. Like, yo, like, future don't seem that dark.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But then if you see a crash out kid and stuff out here, I see our kid like, I have time blindness. Like, the fuck is a time blindness? My boss said I have to be at work by 9. I don't see time, so I just get there at 9:24. I don't feel comfortable with the future when motherfuckers are telling you this. Your surgery is scheduled at 9. The motherfucker want to show and stuff after they gave you the anesthetic and like, Dr. Time Blindness isn't here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry. I believe the children of our future. All right. Good though. It's good.
Children and AI robots.
Get it popping, man. Let's get it.
All right,
We're
go,
going.
let's go in.
Just keep the energy going.
All right, polls.
First poll. Did feminism kill chivalry?
Oh, I want to say yes.
82% said yes.
I want to say yes. We've touched upon this in like many different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I think the number one thing is, we used to open doors. Do you still open doors? I still do it out of habit.
I open doors. I take the cussing, and I say I take the cussing and stuff whatever because I had to say this to a lady and it just threw me off. It's a younger woman and stuff whatever too, right? So she's walking kind of like ahead of me, whatever. Let's say from here to like the pole over there or something like that, right?
Right.
And she's been fumbling with her bags and shit like that. I got my cell phone in one hand. I'm coming to Walmart.
Yeah.
I got my cell phone in one hand. I got my bag and stuff with the shit that I done bought and everything like that, whatever, right? But then I'm just trying to calculate some shit, whatever. But like in my peripheral,
you can see
I see the struggle. Boom. So I see the struggle and stuff, whatever. I'm like, so I put my phone up. I'm like, Miss, can I help you with your bags?
Right.
Whatever, right? She's like, oh, no, I'm good. Thank you. Everything fall down at the time when she said thank you and stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I go now. I was like, all right, put my bag down and stuff, trying to help her scoop up her shit, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And when I try to help her scoop up her stuff and stuff like that, whatever, I was like, it's okay. You don't have to, like, if somebody offers you help and everything like that, within reason, just say yes and take the help and stuff like that, whatever. And then, if any case, pay it forward. And she's like, yeah, but you might be a guy that might try to kidnap me when I go to my car. And I said, that is very true.
Right.
But if that be the case, why weren't you prepared enough to get more bags before you're in a situation and stuff where you might fall into the hands of a person and stuff like you thinking I might be.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, So my bags, I didn't have too much. Well, I had one bag. I have too many things in there.
Yeah.
I said, take my bag.
Right.
Took my shit out, carried my shit in my hand. So it gave her more of a stability and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
And I said to her and stuff, and I'm like, in case you didn't know, some of us were raised to be gentlemen. We're not all looking to a woman for that one thing.
Right.
Right. And then she's like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm like, no, you gave me a sir. I just hit 40. I'm a little emotional, but I take it. And I was like, do well, kid. And I just kept it pushing and shit like that. And I was like, the way how I was raised and stuff, whatever, I was raised with a chivalrous demeanor from my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of hard where that was kind of like more my everyday thing to kind of just like cut it out when it's my natural being.
Yeah.
So, but I get the independency. I get a woman can do this and stuff, whatever, too. I'm not discrediting that and stuff, whatever, but it's kind of like your independency is kind of combating against my chivalry. And let's say if I was with my son or some other young people or other men seeing this, they might want to be reluctant to even help out a woman in a time of need. But then we still hear on social medias and stuff, whatever, these men ain't helping women to do shit. I was like, how, Sway? You guys think we all want pussy from you? I don't know if you even wash yours.
Y'all don't need us for nothing.
I don't even know if you wash yours.
Y'all don't need us for nothing.
They don't need men for anything. They'll quit. I can do bad all by myself. But I'm looking like, how's your plumbing game? like, like how often was the last time you changed a few old pipes and stuff, whatever, swapped out and rerouted the water system in your house and stuff. Oh, never? Seems like, feminism might be not what else might be cracked up to be, but that's just me.
And whatever they tell me they could do bad all by themselves, I always reply, and you can also do good with a man.
Ooh, they're not gonna like you.
They don't like that one.
They're not gonna like you.
But it's
I
true,
like it though.
But it's true though.
I like
I
it
let them
though.
know you can also do good with a man.
Yeah. Wow. I might have to swing that one around their corner. But yes, 82% said feminism did kill chivalry. All right. Next poll says, do you accept everyone's prayers and blessings? And 60% said no.
60% said no.
60% said no. Here's what I seen in the comments thing and stuff, whatever, pertaining to it. Somebody said, do you have a choice? Right? And I said, yes, because I feel like somebody could be praying for your downfall.
Yeah.
But you can actually might hone into whoever the fuck is playing on your downfall and be like, dear God, we're blocking that hater blessing and stuff. So you throw a counter blessing to block that shit, and then you pray again to kind of get your shit going.
Yeah.
Another person said, I don't know what the person's walk with God may be. So I guess they're looking at people like holier than thou.
Yeah.
So I look at it stuff as like, let's say if you might deem me as like, a person that, let's say this, I don't go to church that often. But I tell you, I have a decent relationship with God. I talk to God every day, twice a day, multiple times a day and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
But you don't see me going to Bible study and stuff. You don't see me walk around with a Bible and shit like that, whatever. You might not think too highly of me and the Lord together.
Right.
Now, if I'm like, you're going through some chronicles to be like, yes, Smooth, we're going to pray on you and everything like that. The person's look like, you barely even go to church. I don't trust you paying for me. And I was like, wow. I actually dated a woman and stuff, whatever, right? I told her something like, we got to I want to say we got past the 3-month mark.
Mhm.
I kind of look at it as like, okay, I agreed to kind of proceed to see where this thing might go, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And meanwhile, it's building and going and everything like that. What I told him, like, every day, like definitely when I wake up, I always give thanks and praise for waking up and stuff. Cause some people didn't make it up, out of sleep. I pray for my mom. I pray for my son. And, at the time and stuff, I told the lady, that, I kept her in my thoughts and prayers and stuff and make sure she had a smooth transitional day.
Right.
She's like, I don't need you praying for me. On a stack of Bibles.
She said, I don't need you praying for me.
Yo, soon.
Listen, man, y'all out there in podcast land, if you want to send your blessings my way, I receive all blessings with a smile. All right. Whether you're a hater, listen, man, I think what is meant for you will be for you.
Mm.
And I think if you in your heart strongly believe that,
Mhm.
I don't think any amount of ill will directed towards you will ever fight the power of your belief in your God. So if it's a person who feels like they might be doing it with malicious intent, I'm looking at it as what if it's the God that I believe in that you're talking about, he gonna bless me. He gonna bless me when you say that. Whatever ill will intention that you have behind it, I have faith enough that God sees your bad intentions and says, nah, not for that kid over there. I'm gonna take what you say and I'm gonna increase his blessings.
I see that. I think for me, I'm somewhat on that level. I think for the most part, for myself, I was at a standpoint and stuff was like, yo, if you want to pray for me and you want to give me extra blessings and stuff and thoughts and prayers and stuff, whatever, then by all means. But I'm gonna do it for myself regardless.
Yeah.
And I look at it as stuff as where like the prayers and the blessings and stuff, whatever, it's kind of like my line to God. Like I was not even saying like, when I go to pray to God and stuff, let's say if I go to pray without anybody's additional help, without your additional help, my prayer line might be black. But then now you said, give a shout out and prayer and stuff to Marv. He's going through some chronicles like Narnia and everything. Then I go pray that day. Now my prayer line goes from black to like blue or something, whatever, right?
Right.
I'm not really concerned on what anybody else got. me and my relationship with God is my relationship with God.
100.
So I look at it as stuff as where me personally, I'm with you.
Yeah.
You want to pray for me? By all means. You want to pray for my downfall? Go suck yourself.
Right.
It's like,
It's like,
I don't know, Smooth.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know what
don't
else
know.
to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
I'm like, yo, I accept
I'm
it.
just gonna make it a positive.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Either way, I'm just gonna make it a positive.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty damn much. If you like, oh, I hate that midget bitch. I hope that da 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 and da 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 and this, that, and the third, whatever. And be like, well, dear Lord, fuck them. This is your boy Marv talking. And just bless me and mines and stuff, whatever my people watch and protect over them and stuff like that, and guide them through the day. Everybody has their chronicles that might be good and bad, but let them see the good before the bad.
Right.
Amen.
Amen.
Then yeah, that's it. Then, to the haters, like I don't know. Like, no, we don't want them praying for us. No, I don't accept everybody's blessings. It's like, why is 60%? 60% is high. You don't accept everybody's prayers and blessings.
Nah, you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. And believe it or not, a lot of times I pray for my haters to get better.
I pray for my hate. Thank you.
I pray for my haters to get better.
Oh my gosh.
Believe it or not.
Oh my gosh. I pray for my haters to stop hating.
Yeah.
That's what I honestly pray for them and stuff. And I'm like, yo, why they focus on me, dear Lord? Yo, give them something else to do. Give them something positive to tailor their time and energy to.
That's it.
So it can leave me.
That's it.
Their win is not my loss.
It's not.
So I should feel like it's the same way, vice versa, and stuff like that,
It
right?
should.
So I'm like, I've come to this point. Not everyone wants to see you win, and you have to make peace with that.
You have to make peace with it.
But again, that's between you and God and your determination.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Onward with thy Lord.
Onward, Christian soldier.
Let's cook now.
We cooking.
We don't talk about Shiloh. Let's talk about Shiloh Hendrix. Let's talk about Shiloh Hendrix and her impact on white supremacy in Toronto.
All right, backstory for the people out in Podland.
So backstory for people in Podland and stuff, whatever. If you guys aren't hip, you should Google the name Shiloh Hendrix. Shiloh Hendrix is a lady who was in the park with her child, and a 5-year-old autistic child was playing around her child and actually went into her bag and took something from her child and everything and stuff. Now, granted,
right,
the man with him, I believe, the little boy, I believe his name's Omar.
Right.
So Omar, who's recording the video, is explaining to her, like, she got upset,
right,
and she called the little black boy who's on the spectrum a
Right.
nigger.
right,
The guy's like, you can't just call him a nigger and stuff like that, whatever. I'm like, he's a different kind of child.
right,
He's just a friend of the family and stuff, whatever. But he's like, needless to say, the child is special.
right,
So she's like, well, he's going through my stuff, so he's moving like a nigger. So I'm gonna call him a nigger.
right.
Right? All right. That's the Shiloh backstory.
Yeah.
Go look at the videos and stuff like that on everybody. I employ everybody to look at it and take your judge on it. My thing is stuff. Go ahead.
First, you might want to look up the definition of a nigger.
I mean,
because she says he's moving like one. So I mean, like we need context, right? So let's get that context first, because
I mean, nigger is supposed to be like ignorant.
This is supposed to be.
But you're a child of 5 years old, much less like, I want to say, even as a father of a child on the spectrum,
right?
Their learning is delayed.
Yes.
So if you're thinking a 5-year-old is supposed to, I don't know, spit that I have a dream speech.
Yeah.
What the fuck you think a child on the spectrum and stuff is supposed to do and stuff, much as at 5, when their mental capacity might even be at like age 1 or age 2 level.
Right.
Age 1 to age 2 and stuff, whatever. They're gonna grab things. They're gonna like kind of things what their brain is kind of just used to and just used to seeing and stuff like that, whatever. To call the child a nigger, and then get apprehensive and get proud with it.
Right. Well, and that's why I say go look for the definition, because y'all heard what Mars said. Some of y'all are believing it to be meaning of ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from that standpoint, anybody can be a nigger.
Mm-hmm. And that's why some of the non-blacks like to go with the name. Like, I'm not racist, I say nigga. Like, no.
You kind of racist.
The residue is definitely there.
It's sticky.
Yeah, it's sticky.
It's sticky.
Yeah, like
it's sticky.
And the thing I have with like the exhibition place. So there was people masked up,
right,
dressed in all black, not in all white. I don't know, saying that Shiloh Hendrix did nothing wrong at the Toronto exhibition place.
At the exhibition place,
Toronto exhibition, CNE. At the CNE, they were posting. Shiloh Hendrix did nothing wrong. Shiloh Hendrix did nothing wrong. Let me see if I even find the video. Just probably played a little clip of the audio because it's not even. It was crazy because I was scratching my head. I was like, how do we get to this point? I'm like, you guys always spot and say that, no. So
I think
exhibition place.
So I think when the video was sent to me,
uh-huh.
I was like, forgive me, but this is the time where all them ghetto youths and all them street gangs who really behave like a nigger.
Should crash out on them?
Should have crashed out. I would have been there for that.
I think so too.
I would have been there for that.
I think the thing and stuff is where, let's say this, me being American raised, living in Canada currently, I don't fall short. This is my being black in Canada experience.
Yeah.
I don't fall short of even black and non-black people in Canada approaching to me about like, America has so much racist ways.
Right.
And thinking Canada is exempt from it.
Oh, no.
So then when you have a situation where the lady in Mississauga at the time was saying, I need my doctor to be born here to speak the language from here.
Right.
When I bring that to them, when they say that America's so racist, they want to brush that off to the side.
Yeah.
When they come to America's so racist and stuff again, and I show them this video or stuff, whatever, they're going to act like it's an anomaly.
Yeah.
So then my question to them and stuff, and my question to you and stuff is like, how do you like your racism? Blatant or subtle?
Blatant.
You like it blatant,
man. Blatant. Ooh. What I'm saying, I've always said this. I mean, I've been saying this for decades. I don't think there's any difference other than in the US it's blatant.
This is blatant in Canada.
Well, it's just starting to be blatant in Canada.
Do you really? And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. In Canada, they'll be racist and not let you know it.
So you're saying the subtlety and stuff, whatever, has always been here.
Always been here.
The subtlety has always been here. But you're saying stuff, whatever. Now, the blatancy, like America, has just started to rise.
Yeah, I think.
Circa when?
I think. I want to say here. Probably around the same time when we started seeing the whole MAGA boys movement.
Oh,
so the whole Proud Boys movement.
Okay, so
I want to say
2020, 2021.
Yeah, I want to say then it's become like more blatant here. I think
okay.
I think people were under the impression that we didn't have militias.
The outside world or people living in the country?
People living in the country.
Interesting.
Feeling like we didn't have militias. I don't think it was until they started realizing when the militias started popping up in the US, when they started realizing,
that the Proud Boys was founded in Montreal?
Yeah. There's factions here. Yeah, damn right there's factions here.
Right.
Yeah. It ain't no different than any like a motorbike chapter. They've got chapters. Hells Angels got chapters here.
So for me, I kind of, let's say this. I think if it's subtle, I prefer my racism subtle. And the reason why I say this and stuff, whatever, because I feel like if it's blatant, a lot of times you're not trying to hear the reach one, teach one stance that I'm trying to show you.
Yeah.
If you're a blatant racist and stuff, whatever, towards me. But I think if it's subtle, you'll probably at least like lower your volume enough to like even hear. You can still brush it off the same way.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as like, I think when it comes to the subtlety aspect of stuff, whatever, I want to educate you and shame you with those words than to like have a yelling match.
Yeah.
For people who are saying like, Shiloh Hendrix did nothing wrong, to be like, would it be okay if like you had an autistic child and we said, like, cracker ass cracker or something like that, whatever?
Yeah.
Then they'll probably just like yell off, what do you do? You tell us, coon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then like, Shiloh Hendrix did nothing wrong. So I look at it as where the subtle ones, I feel like you could probably exchange a few words. I've had a few situations where the racism and stuff was kind of subtle.
Yeah.
And it may not have swayed the person, but I want to say it at least lightened up the room around them. Me and my homies and stuff at the time, we were going to a Fabulous concert and stuff, whatever, or Fabulous show in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right? This place called House of Blues. House of Blues is not too far and stuff for there. Shout out to House of Blues. Not too far from the Holiday Inn Express. We went there, Holiday Inn Express, to have some drinks before the show and everything like that, whatever, right? Boom, boom, boom. One person buying around the drinks. Now it's my turn to buy around the drinks and stuff like that, whatever. I get to the bar. The way how my mama raised me, you make eye contact with a person, you acknowledge the person like, hello, how's it going? Just like that. You don't want shit from nobody, but you need to treat everybody like they're human.
Yeah.
Fuck the race. Fuck the skin tone. Cool. This is what I'm doing, what my mama taught me.
Right.
The dude gave me like a kind of look and a cut eye.
Right.
So I'm looking like, whatevs. I'm not into men anyway. I get the damn beer and everything like that, whatever, right? And I was like, the guy, bartender's like, thank you. He's like, have a nice day. I'm like, you have a better one. He's like, I like that. I'm like, it's yours. Keep it. Then this one, like, what is it, scoffs? That's what it is? When you're watching Netflix and you hear the audio, the subtitles say, scoffs.
Scoffs.
So, so I'm like, yo, walk on.
Right, right.
I greeted you when I was coming to the bar and you had an issue and stuff like that, whatever. And then now you're putting your input when I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to the bartender.
Yeah.
Did I do something to you, sir?
Yeah.
He's like, no. So then he's like, yo, I don't want a problem from your kind and stuff. So the bartender's about to get turned to stuff. He's like, you're kind? He's like, that's racist. So he said it before. I always like when a Caucasian fight my racism battles.
Yeah.
He's like, that's racist. And he just kind of jumped in. I said, no need for no one to raise their voice.
Right.
If you don't like me because of my skin tone and stuff, not because of who I am and stuff, whatever, that's a different kind of weird to me and stuff, whatever. Because if you're injured in the city of Cleveland, 9 times out of 10, you might get a black nurse,
right,
or a Latino nurse,
right,
that might come to your aid and help you and stuff like that, whatever. So I don't think this might be the place for you to kind of get all racist.
Yeah,
you might need to go to Arkansas or something like that, whatever, right? Yeah. And all his little, he had nothing to say to that. No one got ignorant. No one's, Shiloh Hendrix did nothing wrong. Well, there was no Shiloh back then. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and I like it like that. Because if you have the subtlety, maybe I can educate you, let you go home with the thought, if you don't give a fuck, you don't give a fuck. But you choose not to. Because you still heard it.
Yeah. Oh, Marv, I was once young.
What is that?
Let me know you're racist. So I ain't gotta fuck with you. That's what I'm saying. You stay over there, I'ma stay over here.
I do like that and stuff too, because if I know you don't fuck with me, I'm not going where I'm not celebrated. Straight like that.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's the only reason why I'm saying, let me know, because believe it or not, there's more of the good people than there are of you. I'll go fuck with the good people. And that's how I see it, man. At one point, I would be the guy that just I'm just gonna. I think, when you're old, you just don't, I'm getting to that I don't give a fuck stage.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I've been dying for you to get to this stage. I've been here before you got there.
I'm getting to that stage now, man.
I was about to say, like, yo, a lot of people's side talks don't do shit for your world.
No, they don't.
It doesn't pay your bills and everything like that. And you realize the stuff that, like, with them and stuff, whatever, like, when you're giving a fuck, it's kind of like, you feel like you might be short of the mark. When you don't give a fuck, what mark? Your gut's full, you got money in your pocket, whatever. You're able to smile, have like 7 laughs within the day. Who cares?
No marks, no marks.
Who cares? Yeah, I don't know.
So it's, maybe I'm getting, is she the one, or maybe I'm getting mixed up. Is she the one that has the GoFundMe that's now at $1 million?
Yeah. Yeah, she's the one with the GoFundMe and everything like that. So they even try to cancel the GoFundMe because it's for like a malicious cause.
Right.
So they're trying to give back to people and stuff for their money. I said, no GoFundMe. Air their motherfucking business out there or whatever. Put it on the rat-a-tat-tat.
Since they want to show us who donate, man.
Just show us.
Show us who donate.
Show us who donate and stuff,
all.
whatever. Let me know if it's a neighbor or two, so I can be like, yo,
all.
this is why we don't fuck with you right here.
Yeah.
Yo, get it like, yo, 200? Two gangsters?
Hello, knock on my neighbor. So,
you don't fuck with you, man. You the same bitch ass person and stuff out here.
Cut your side of the lawn.
Giving your money like, yo, yeah, like Shiloh Hendrix was not wrong. Okay, mass deportation. That's what you want. That's how you feel.
That's how you feel.
I was like, yo, when you come outside, hold your head down and stuff. But you can put whatever on your lawn and stuff, whatever, and everything like that, until the neighborhood kids start fucking with it. Because the neighborhood kids and stuff are gonna start looking like, what? Their people's gonna explain to them and stuff like the blatant hatreds and stuff, whatever. And they're gonna call the one ignorant kid that don't go to school, that don't do shit. They be like, yo, he wear the low top black Air Force Ones. He about fucking with that house.
He already been broken into 4 houses already.
Say less with this last one. He probably do this shit for fun. He's like, what? It's light work, electrician shit.
They caught you who? What they call you? What you want?
I feel like most of the countries and stuff in the world, right? I don't think we're that much separated from what we see. Like, all right, the things that we see, right? Let's say we see racism moments or racist moments in China, where like the basketball team and you have the Chinese people like, nigger, 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 go back to your country, nigger. You see videos of that.
Right.
We're living in here. We're living in Canada. People in America can see that. People in the UK could see this and stuff like that, right? Then you see another racist moment and stuff where, let's say in another part of the world, hell, I still find it super racist and stuff that like the indigenous folk of Australia are called black people.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're fairer skinned than I am. Like, what do you say to me? Mud? Do you call me mud? And I'm looking like, I don't want to go to a place where I'm hearing all of this.
Right.
But we're connected by like so many things, like say like the internet. I want to say like the internet especially has bridged a lot of gaps and stuff between most worlds.
Yeah.
So if I hear a place and stuff where they have like an anti or neo-Nazi movement and stuff like that, right? I've expect that more from a place like Germany.
Right.
And Germany, they don't play that.
Right.
Right? But yet it's still in America, you have neo-Nazi movements and neo-Nazi groups.
Yeah.
They learned that through, I guess, not even the internet, but I want to say like through history in the course of time and stuff like that, right? I'm like, internet population, population, and the internet will kind of like, these are the kind of things that will kind of separate most countries from kind of pretty much being the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wear Jordans in China.
Yeah.
They wear Jordans in America. They wear Jordans in Canada.
Yeah.
They wear Jordans in the UK. And it's kind of like, it's not like one person going from one boat to a place to tell another place, you guys should buy Jordans. It's in style in this place and stuff, whatever. We're seeing this through the internet.
Yeah.
So this internet hate that we're seeing and stuff, whatever. We're not the only countries getting it or susceptible to it. Everybody's seeing it.
Nah.
We shouldn't just expect it just from America. That's what I'm saying.
No, and I think the only reason why we look at it from that perspective is because it's just been so much attention has been focused on America in regards to like slavery, Jim Crow laws.
Because Canada had like the Underground Railroad and everything. And stuff
I mean,
like
we
that.
had Underground Railroad, but other countries had slavery too. Like U.S. was not the only country who had slavery. So, to say that because there's so much light being shined on them and it's focused that everywhere else was exempt from it, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and maybe it's not even the fact that it's so blatant. It's just that we know so much of the history why it seems blatant.
That's true. That's true. So, okay, let me ask you this. Movies like Obvious a Slave, Roots.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon made a statement years ago saying like these movies are not needed, right?
Yeah.
And recently they came out with a Harriet Tubman movie and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Do you feel that with the schools, and I want to put this on the schools, but let's say even the parents or like just overall teachings and stuff, whatever. If the overall teachings are not catching in, like let's say a Harriet Tubman teaching, a slavery talk and stuff like that, do you leave it up to the movies to kind of help educate the people? Because we're not, or are you expecting the schools to educate the people on stuff on like slavery, racism, how blacks were treated, discrepancy of blacks?
I think each individual school within each individual country should teach their history within its entirety, whether it be good or bad, right?
Okay.
Then anything outside of that, I would leave it on the individual if they want to go learn world history. What's happening in other parts. You should at least know the history of the country that you reside in.
So
The good and the bad.
within the past few years, even shit recently, I heard they dug up um some indigenous remains within the city of Toronto and stuff as well. Right.
Yes.
So with that statement that you're saying, and not putting words in your mouth, do you believe that they should start remaking new history books to include how many reform school remains were found within, like, let's say since the orange t-shirt day and stuff like that, and even to these remains, because this is part of the country of Canada,
Yeah.
but yet and still the history books and stuff had an idea of these things
Right.
and never once encompassed them into the curriculums.
Well, maybe not address any new findings,
Okay.
but at least leave the door open to suggest that this is what we know of now, right? We're quite possible that there's more atrocities out there that we are yet to discover. So now when we hit something new, it ain't like, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this. No, we already knew that there's a possibility that there's still some remnants that we have yet to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching I think it was somewhere out in Alberta. One of those provinces out west in Canada where they were excavating. I think they were putting up a building and they were excavating. And they got to one point and they started like digging up relics of like World War II, like some like old cannons and
Okay.
this, that, and the third. And this was this was stuff that was already found, right? Then disregarded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like, oh well, fuck it, it's not important. Then disregarded, buried, only to be dug back up again decades later, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's say this was part of like some sort of like murderous firing squad. Now they're trying to get rid of the evidence. Well, guess what? The evidence resurfaced. So there's always a possibility that these things that can come back and bite you. But if you're properly preparing, if you already said, listen, we were wrong, accept our apologies, but I mean the extent may be far greater than I know because you may not be around at the time. You're just probably dealing with a problem that is now you inherited, right?
I felt like when it came to Trudeau,
Yeah, you're dealing with a
because they,
problem
they
that you
wanted they
inherited.
wanted Trudeau to answer for like these bodies and everything. Man's like, I was even born when these things popped
Nah,
off.
nah.
But they're like, no, you're the face of the country
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time. You need to answer for all of this and stuff like
yeah.
there's atrocities that's been
And which he did,
committed.
and to his fairness, which he did. But again, just like I'm saying, how long after was that the new ones be discovered, right? So now we're looking for.
Oh my god.
Now we're gonna say, hey, Carney, can you come back to the podium and kind of make an appendix to what Trudeau did to cover these new ones that. Nah, but just leave the door open to say, listen, we apologize for what took place. It was horrific, and it may not be the end of it. You know what I mean? As we go forward, but just keep understand that we know, and we extend our apologies from here to infinity beyond, like your Buzz Lightyear. I don't know, but somewhere you gotta blanket it. But I firmly believe if you're in a country, you should know that country's history, good or bad, good or bad.
I agree.
And then outside anything outside of that, now if you're a student of world history, or if you're somebody who is going into like any type of field that deals with world affairs, then you should know the history of the people
Oh,
you're
without a
dealing with.
doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because I look at it stuff as like, you can't pitch in things like you want these progressive things within the country that you're probably representing for,
Right.
when that country probably did a whole lot of shit things, like bad things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, they hire you to be the PR rep and stuff, whatever, to be a company for this company and everything like that. You have no education as to how this company probably done
None,
frauded
whatever.
people and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna be like, we're not gonna deal with those right now, but we want change. Like, fuck you. Like, yeah, like, no, we have some past things. Please address these
Please
and
address
stuff like
these.
that. But you're right, though. I feel like anybody that kind of comes to the podium and stuff like that, to that level, if they make it like a blanket thing, like, yo, there's mad atrocities that have taken place, and us as the people, we're just gonna find them and just deal with them and just. I, I feel like if a statement stuff like that was made
Yeah.
and dealt with, it's not that heavy compared to like not said nothing at all.
Not saying nothing at all. No.
Because I think when you're at least saying that, we're like, yo, we don't know. For all we know, you could go in your backyard and say you want to put a pool in there, whatever. You might find some remains. Does that make you a villain because you own the property? No.
No. Right.
But these things happen and stuff, whatever, and we don't know where. If we
We don't
did know, the world would be a different place.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Fair. That's fair. We can cook. No, I wanted to ask you one, I have a topic for you before we move on to like question of the week. Question of the week is gonna start some Mother's Day wars, I know, but by the time this Tuesday rocks, Mother's Day is over.
Over.
So my question I want to have for you on some real shit and stuff is, what would be your first question you want to ask a former friend?
The first question I would want to ask a former friend.
Yeah.
Honestly, how is their well-being?
How's their well being?
Yeah.
For me, I think my question and stuff, would be like, like, how's life been treating you?
Yeah.
How's life been treating you and stuff like that, right? I think the growth of me missing set person within my world, I'm just gonna treat them and stuff as like somebody I know,
Right.
but I just haven't seen the stuff. Like, even if we were tight like glue and stuff whatever before,
Yeah.
we're not anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna treat you and stuff like, like, hey, how's life been treating? Like, I know of you and da da da. That's my first question I would ask and stuff like that. My
Right.
next question to ask you and stuff is like, what are you grateful for from this former friend?
Oh. It's I don't know. I would say it's weird, but I'm of this a strong belief there's a reason for the season, and people enter and exit your life for that specific.
You're one of those reasons
Yeah,
season people?
yeah.
Okay.
So listen, man, I thank them for whatever lesson that I may have taken from them directly or indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at it as you were in part of my life for some reason. And I've learned from it. And it's weird because I can think of many former friends that I have learned a lesson or two from. right? So that would probably be the second thing that I
think
would
that's
say.
but that's the
I'm grateful.
gratitude portion of it, whatever. Because I look at it stuff as where like reasons and seasons, and for me, I always look at it when I hear people say reasons and seasons. It feels more cold blooded. You know, I'm an assassin,
Yeah.
right? And for me, it'd be like, damn, like that's like, person came in my life for a reason and a season. That's it. Like no, like I have a former friend in mind that without him, I never would have knew Ben.
Right.
I never knew Ben, and shout out to Ben. And him and I have like a friendship that expands over like decades,
Yeah.
right? And I'm looking at stuff without this former friend, I never would have met one of my greatest best friends,
Right.
right? How we were at a level to that, whatever, but then, your thing, here nor there, I just want to know how's life been treating you?
Yeah. And that
And thank
and thank
you
you.
for
Yeah.
putting this person in
Right.
my
Yeah.
world and stuff because I'm grateful where I stand now.
Shout out to Bishop Dixon. One of the spiritual leaders every now and then I get a chance to sit down and talk to. He had at one time given me this this piece of paper that had I don't want to say poem because it wasn't really a poem on it, but it was an analogy of the train. I don't know if you've ever
Run it.
heard about it before, but it's like
Run it to the people that didn't even hear before.
it's like you look at your life as a
Train station? Oh, a train.
right?
Okay.
And you're going from one destination in life to the next point, right? And then during your travels, people get on that train, may ride a few distances with you, they get off that train. And you may never see that person again, right? Or that same person might get on that same train
And ride it all the way to the last stop.
at a later date and time, right?
Oh, okay.
And this can be anybody in your life. This could be a family member. This could be your friend. This could be a teacher. This is all walks of life. People step on your train. You interact with them, right? In some way, shape, or form. But not everybody's gonna ride that train to the end with you, right? So, and then you just have to understand that everybody has their train, and at some point, we're all passengers on somebody else's train that we get on and then we get off, right? So you just from that standpoint, if someone gets on that train, they might get on. They might get on at let's say the station is Dundas. I may have not needed
Dundas
them.
is a
Toronto
Torontonian
station.
stop in the TTC system.
I may have not needed them at any other point during my travel, but they got on at the right time. They got on at Dundas station, and they may only be going for 2 stops, but those 2 stops was enough for me to take whatever I needed from them. And then they get off on that 2 stops, and then I never see them again. But they fulfilled that portion of my journey.
Nice. Well said. Couldn't say any better.
I'm gonna find it for you because he actually gave it to me.
I actually like the way how you broke it down and stuff, whatever, too, as well, because I understood that. Like I look at it stuff as where there's people and stuff that I've probably acquired and stuff along the way, or in my walk and stuff where I'm like, you know what? We're gonna go a little bit further together.
Yeah.
But like they didn't come in the game. Let's say if we're looking at like the stops being ages.
Yeah.
They didn't come in my world at like age 23.
Right.
They came in my world at age like, let's say, I want to say 38.
Right.
And now at like age 40, 41, it's kind of like, all right, I'm off. And then I have to take whatever from that situation as much as possible from that person and stuff because they weren't here for a good time, for a long time.
Yeah.
They're here for like a short time.
But just think how dope that concept is, though, right?
No, it's dope.
Because let's say at stage or stop 20.
Okay.
Right? Certain people are on your train that you didn't even consider to fuck with because you weren't ready at age 20 to sit down and have that discussion with that person on the seat across.
That's a major fact. That's major.
Right?
Yeah.
But come 40, stop 40, someone comes on the train exactly like that person that was on your train at age 20. But now your whole mindset is different.
Mm-hmm.
You see something about that person, it's like, I need to, let me have a conversation with that person. And at that point in time is when you need that specific person. You know what I mean? It's like, and this is what it is. Like, we don't know the comings of goings of people. You just got to be grateful. And it's like what you're saying, grateful for the experience, grateful for the time that it's spent, and take whatever possible positive lesson that you can take for that person being in your life. And wish you all the best.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, man.
All right.
Ready for the question of the week?
Question of the week.
All right. So there's an argument about this, whatever, but work with me. I'm going to paint the vision for you and stuff, whatever.
Let's go.
I think I want to paint a vision different for the ladies because I got yelled at, whatever, but it's you and I rocking and stuff like that. They can come at me in the questions or catch me online and I'll paint it out for the ladies.
You've been
and stuff,
safe for a minute. Though,
yeah, I've been safe.
You've been safe for a minute.
Which is good. That means I'm talking real shit.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say you're LeBron, right?
Right.
Do you go to the Game 7 championship finale or do you go to the birth of your first child?
Ooh. I gotta go to the birth of my first child.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta go to the birth of my first child.
Coming in at number 11 is Marv. Fuck that. And I say that to say, and I want to. I'm curious about your birth of the first child. Tell me why. Because I feel like your wife and your child would depend on you and stuff, whatever. But your child might not know better, so it's more of your wife.
Yeah.
Compared to like, you're that guy. You're a franchise player. We need you in the finale. Everybody's depending on you. They're chanting your name. Smooth, 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 smooth. You pull up, smooth, smooth, smooth. You walk out to the court, smooth, smooth, smooth.
I think I would be more concerned with any sort of complication happening and I'm not there.
I said to that, they brought that up as a variable. Like the women that were arguing that night, I said to them and stuff, I said, it was young Kobe Bryant, sad as fuck.
Yeah.
With NBA championship trophy right there in the jacket, the hat, and everything. I'm gonna be like, just like, damn, my baby lost a toe. We buying prosthetic toes. Like, we got the bread now. Am I an asshole?
Yeah, I'm gonna see why they came for you.
Game 7. Game 7. So I flipped. So my question. So how I flipped it to the women.
Right.
How I flipped it to the women and stuff. I said that they are the leader. They are going to be prime minister or president of whatever fucking country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Their husband is standing by them. They're like what was Kamala's husband? They were calling him the first man. The second man because she was vice president.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the first man, right? Your woman is gonna lead this country. Happens that the same day of inauguration, your mom's your mom's bypass surgery needs to go down.
Yeah.
Do you go with your wife, or do you go with mom? And then I said to them and stuff, and I'm like, do you want your husband to come to your inauguration? Because this sets a tone to the people. The people don't see, they kind of have this vision for how a politician is supposed to look.
Yeah.
And now on your inauguration day, your husband isn't there. Even if you give a speech like, yeah, he's there with his mom, salute to them and stuff.
I was about to say,
they're not gonna go fuck.
I was about to say, but I was about to say, I need one of them crafty women presidents that can, that can spin it, proper. You know what I mean? One of those, listen.
Just because my man isn't here?
He wanted to be here. But I said, no, baby, I'm a strong black woman. You know when she hit them with the strong black women. You know the women, Marv. Come on, Marv. You know the women. You know, Marv. I'm a strong black woman. I want you to be there with your mama.
I know I'm an uncle right now, but I'm rolling my eyes like an auntie in case the ones that can't see.
Like an auntie?
Because I'm looking at stuff and like, please. Hey, bitch, please. Look here, Doc.
Nah, man.
I'm
gonna tell her when you say that, just make sure you cue the music man to play Mama in the background. Mama.
Oh, Boyz II Men? Mama, you know I love you.
Get the AV man to play on the big screen. Me and my mom when I was a little kid through all the stages. You can spin it. You can spin it, Marv. You can spin it.
I mean, it is your it was her inauguration.
Yeah.
So she can just flip it and turn it and stuff.
Yeah, you can spin it.
This is my husband and his mom in the happier times. They can't be here with me and stuff for her because she has bypass surgery and it's only right for the son to be there. But I miss you guys both so much.
Oh shoot, Mom! You know what'd be crazy if they cut to the live feed and you buy this best out with your mama and your mama waving. We with you in spirit. Sold.
But that's what I'm saying.
Sold.
You still like that woman will still want her man not to be by her side.
Yeah.
So you can't expect LeBron James to be by your side at Game 7. He's going.
You know what it reminds me of? The whole Vince Carter when he went to go graduate. The time when we had the games in the finals and he missed the final game and we lost that final game.
No, I didn't. So what? Wait, okay. This must be a Toronto fact. I didn't know about this.
Yes, man.
He graduated from what? From college?
Yeah, from college. He went to his college graduation and we were playing I can't remember what playoff game it was. I think it was a Game 7 and we lost it.
All right, no further questions.
And I cursed Vince for that. I'm actually.
So then
I'm acting like
hello.
But now I guess I want to say I kind of see it. I'm still mad at you, Vince. But I mean, it's it's your decision to make, and you got to live with it, right? It's like, but I mean, come on, Vince. It was just a college graduation. It wasn't like
it was just the birth of the son.
It wasn't like your first son or
you can fight.
It wasn't their first son or anything.
Yo. I'm glad we're going out together. I just want to say that.
We're going out together.
I appreciate you. They're going to come for me for posing the question on you. And they're going to be like, these fucking two are assholes. They don't sympathize with nothing but themselves. And the thing is that I understand where even the women in the room having a conversation and certain people will think. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying stuff is like, there's notions where, let's say, if army kids, right? Army kids and stuff, whatever. Your father's in the army, he's deployed, whatever the hell, probably doing some black ops shit and stuff like that, whatever. Your mom's water breaks. I hope you don't expect him to leave whatever trenches that he's in.
Oh, no.
So he's in the game trenches. I'm in the game trenches. Like, I have to be locked in. I got to make sure the ship comes home.
No, Marv.
Wow.
No, Marv. We're not comparing the championship to millions of lives on the line. that your husband is going to go defend.
That are depending on you. There's millions of people that are betting on you. Pick a betting platform. There's someone betting on the odds that you're going to do great. And you're like, no, I'm going to sit this one out for the birth of my child. They'd be like, record it.
Dirtbag.
All
Potential fathers out there who may be faced with this dilemma. Do not use this episode.
Go to Game 7
as your deciding factor.
Go to Game 7.
Do not use this episode.
Potential fathers
as your deciding factor.
Follow your dream, because no woman wants to be with a miserable man who wants to mope and sulk that he didn't fulfill his dreams or his prophecy. And you know it.
Go to Game 7. You might have to buy your daughter that prosthetic toe.
Thank you.
You might have to buy your daughter that prosthetic toe.
Thank you.
This guy.
Iron toe. Yo. And you can make a Louis Vuitton with enough money. Let's get to the Axel Sons.
Okay.
All right. It's a little bit tamer. A little bit tamer. All right. First Ask the Sun's question comes from Big Land 96. The internet disappears forever. What's the first thing you were doing?
Ooh, going outside and touch grass.
Oh, you're a bully. That's what you said about these kids? That's funny.
I'm going outside to touch
It
grass.
clicks to me like, these kids they just go outside and touch grass. I'm like, oh, Smooth, you're hilarious. To be honest, if we're to lose the internet right now,
Yeah.
it depends where I am. If I'm home, the first thing I want to do is reset the modem. Just to confirm, just to make sure.
Just to make sure?
Just to make sure.
Right.
And then when I realize everything is tapped out and stuff like on the phone and everything like that, my main concern and stuff, whatever, is that like phone-wise, could those things kind of be like, working again? Because I look at it stuff as where, you remember the black book days? Like the phone book days and stuff when people had like phone books and shit like that. When I think even your mom's had it dope too. They had that ledger thing by the phone.
Yeah.
And like some people's phone numbers and stuff was on there and everything like that, whatever.
Yeah.
I found those things and stuff, whatever, so interesting because these are your go-to people that you might tap in with and stuff for, even if they're bill places and stuff like that. I feel like more tapping in will go back in when the internet and stuff is not functioning. So I would feel like first I reset my damn modem, then I'll try to tap in and stuff to my peoples and stuff. Be like, yo, no internet now.
So,
I'm right. No, I'm just joking.
It might be hard to tap in though, right? Because a lot of the stuff is all VoIP.
True. But
Yeah.
I mean, let's say to the WhatsApp peoples. To WhatsApp people, you're definitely losing them.
Yeah, but even with the cellular service, a lot of that stuff is still VoIP. Even though they have like a dedicated line, a lot of it, the backbone of it, the inner workings is still flying through the internet. So it'd be interesting to know
what the world look like without internet.
Yeah, you know what the first thing I'm gonna do is probably look for and I think I have one somewhere around here, a shortwave radio.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just to plug in to see what information I can pull, because it's got to be a abundance of information at that point.
That's a fact. That's a major fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from Sugarpot. What is something that other people pretend to enjoy but secretly hate?
Rice pudding.
Since people pretend to enjoy.
I hate it with no secrets.
Yo, this guy, you're on fire today, huh? Who hurt you?
Bro,
rice
okay,
pudding.
Come on. Who the hell came up with the concept that they need to put rice into pudding? You like rice pudding, don't you?
I do. It fucking slaps.
Weird.
I don't mind rice pudding. I think because the rice pudding I had, like it had like the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the vanilla taste and stuff, whatever, and the granules of rice are all nice and soft. You're like, it feels like you're eating this without no teeth. Like, I think it was prepping me for like my senior citizen home that I have to go to in the future. Be like, I could do this with teeth. So with no teeth, soft things. I think that let me read this question again. The something that people pretend to enjoy but secretly hate other people. I feel like a lot of people and stuff pretend to like people, but then they secretly hate people.
I got one. Your kids play.
Oh yeah, I'm a different kind of father.
You're a different type of father?
Because a different kind of father and stuff for me. I expect kids to be drunk, like miniature drunk adults.
Yeah.
So like even when I watch my son do shit, whatever, like he just like will run like back and forth from a living room or some shit like that, whatever. I'm like, don't bust your shit now.
So no. Sorry. When I mean play, like I mean like play, like you're going to like the school to go sit down and watch they play.
Yeah, like come on, you expect Tis Thou from Shakespeareans and 7-year-olds?
No, I'm expecting the time to speed up.
Oh my god!
Hurry up and take my ass out of here.
You sure you want to be present for your first son to be born? Or you want to get the fuck up out of here?
Yes, I'll be present for that. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you're not wrong. let's say this. The kids plays. I've only, let's say this, for my son and his little kindergarten thing and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what song they were singing.
You couldn't tell me.
But I have the program.
Yeah. That's good enough.
And
You
in
were
the
there.
program,
You were there.
like when I hear like songs like, like I know the song is "You Are My Sunshine." That wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
No.
And I was like, they were just singing that one track. I was like, we can't expect much from our children. Stop expecting you from other people. So say the sons. I just can't. I sat there just whenever I clapped, I'm like, all right, we're clapping for the nonsense. Hey. And shut my fire.
And there you go. Happy when you don't want to be.
Yeah. Last question comes from Warmest Body. What do you miss about your teenage years?
My endurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I would. The endurance is, yeah. Teenagers can operate with like a fucked up diet and still be going strong and shit like that, whatever. Like I remember
Fucked up diet, no sleep.
no sleep. Yeah. And I was like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
And now if you do that shit to like in your adult stage, even like, let's say if these are like 16, 17-year-olds and stuff, but you even add 20 years to that and stuff, whatever, lack of sleep, fucked up diet, everything, you're crashing out. Your body's probably damn near done.
Bro, in my teen years, I could have had the most strenuous day, come home and still want more.
Mm-hmm.
Now my day's even half as strenuous. I'm coming home, I'm sleeping.
Boss, I remember one time and stuff, whatever, like in high school. Well, it's illegal. Is that club still around? I kind of want to expose the club because they probably doing it to this day. But there's a club going on when I was in high school, and on Sundays used to rock. Now you can go there if you're 18 plus, but they would put like a X on your hand,
Yeah,
to let you know you can't buy alcohol.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can be in the spot, but you just can't buy alcohol and everything. But I got older people and stuff buy the alcohol. I just hold the drink in another hand, put the hand in the pocket, soft things. The shit got out, like say 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Then the fuckers I was with, whatever, which are older people and stuff, whatever, and everything like that, whatever. They want to go to like a 24-hour food spot where some people from the club they go to and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
These fuckers and them like that. Shout out to my boy Sleazy E and stuff, whatever. My boy Sleazy E is like, shit, I'm home tomorrow, so I'm gonna get my sleep on this shit. I'm not. I got high school in a few hours.
Yeah, in a few hours.
And I was so amped because it's like, I went to school, like I probably took a little 1-2 sleep, got my shit together, still went to school and stuff like that. Telling people I went to the club and stuff a few hours ago, still knocked out everything for school, all the above, after school and stuff, then to go home begging for a nap, went to go run other missions, the endurance shit you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was on top of the roster like a dreadlock.
Yeah.
If I'm up even 12 hours and stuff like that, like let me say this, I wake up on a daily basis probably about like around that 5:45 mark.
Yeah.
At 5:45 in the afternoon and stuff, whatever, I'm looking like, I need to settle down somewhere.
Somewhere, somehow.
I need to be off the road.
Somewhere, somehow.
I need to be like,
I need to be in a sitting position, at least.
They're cussing me out and stuff now because like before I turned 40, I took naps. Now I'm 40 and stuff, and I don't give a fuck. Like, yo, give me like a 10, 15-minute little napper.
Yeah.
I napped before the podcast today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
I don't give a shit. I'm and shout out to Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon owned his shit. He's like, yo, this podcast is cutting into my fucking nap time. When he said that to them, he's like, it's just a 10, 15 minutes. My batteries will go right back to full again. I can take on the world. He's like, I need naps. I don't like shit. Fuck with my naps.
No, that's
my
it,
endurance.
That's my endurance.
My
bro.
endurance.
100%, man. 100%.
I'm with you, Smooth. We're together on this one. Not the firstborn thing, but we're together on this.
The endurance we see eye to eye.
Eye to eye. We're locked in.
We're locked.
I'm locked in the game 7. You're locked in on the vagina to see the baby come out. No complications.
We're locked.
We're locked. We are here, man.
We are here.
I appreciate you for another great show,
of course, man. As always.
All right. Hit him with the So Say the Sons this week. So Say the Sons this week says, the only thing between you and your dream is action. so say the sons. Same thing we were talking about a little bit earlier and stuff, whatever. People see steps 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
Steps 1 can pop off, but it needs action.
Needs action. 100%.
It needs action and stuff. So your dreams are not that far off. You just need action between them.
Yeah.
We are here.
We are here.
Thank you again, folks, for listening to the Podical Sons, man. We appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above, all streaming platforms possible, YouTube,
all
Shorts. We appreciate you guys.
We are there.
You guys are taking it in. We're going to keep thumping you guys and stuff with it, the TikToks and stuff like that as well. Instagram. You're showing us some love. We appreciate you guys and stuff like that. Whatever, coming on slowly. But the other platforms, we do appreciate how we just bubbling and going and stuff like that. And might be to the train thing, what you're saying and stuff like that. Instagram might have got on the train at this point, but the other people and stuff are here to just ride it out and stuff, whatever.
There you go.
Once again, man, thank you for listening to Podical Sons. Remember the difference between genius and stupidity? It's that genius has its limits. Peace and love, y'all. Y'all be safe out there.
Peace and love.
The Podical Sons with not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.